The night had a silence that hurt. Inside a dim basement apartment, the hum of an old refrigerator was the only sound. It wasn't cooling anything, it hadn't worked in months. Nathan sat slouched on a faded couch, staring at the cracked screen of a second-hand laptop. The loading bar spun endlessly, mocking him. Around him were signs of a life once filled with promise. A shelf stacked with programming books. An old whiteboard scribbled with code. Trophies covered in dust. And next to them, rejection letters. Emails that started with, "We regret to inform you," and ended with silence. Nathan hadn't always been like this. 5 years ago, he had been the top of his class. A rising name in AI. Professors used to call him the quiet mind, because while others spoke, Nathan built. He didn't care about applause. He cared about impact. Then came the startup idea. He and his best friend worked night and day, an emotional learning AI that could detect human stress through micro-expressions. Investors got curious. One even made an offer. But before Nathan could sign the papers, his best friend sold the prototype. Behind his back. Took everything. The betrayal didn't just break the company. It shattered Nathan. After that, the world became noise. He dropped out, stopped answering calls, and slowly faded from the places that once called him brilliant. He needed money. So he took the only job that didn't ask questions. Night janitor at the very university where he once gave guest lectures. Music shifts, darker, heavier. He mopped the same halls where his name used to echo in applause. Cleaned bathrooms where his face once appeared on research posters. No one recognized him now. And maybe that was easier. Every night, he'd arrive after sunset. Old hoodie, torn jeans, cracked phone. He kept his head down. Didn't talk to anyone. Students passed by him without ever making eye contact. Professors barely noticed. He was a ghost in a place he used to own, but what hurt most was knowing what still lived inside his mind. The ideas hadn't left. The brilliance was still there. But without belief, without someone who saw it, what did it matter? Sound, clock ticking. Footsteps echo. Soft rainfall begins. One Thursday night, around 2:13 a.m., he stood outside the computer science building, smoking a cheap cigarette he couldn't even afford. That's when he noticed her. A girl, maybe 19 or 20, sitting on the library steps in a green hoodie, earbuds in, staring at him. Not judging. Not afraid. Just watching. Nathan looked away quickly. He was used to being ignored. Being seen felt unfamiliar. The next night, she was there again. Same steps. Same gaze. Nathan tried to act like he didn't notice. But his hands trembled slightly as he held the mop. Who was she? And more importantly, why wasn't she looking away? The third night, Nathan looked up. She was there again. Same steps. Same hoodie. Same gaze. But this time, she spoke. That was a pretty elegant fix on the lab router last night. Nathan froze. He didn't respond. Just dropped his mop into the bucket and kept walking. You bypassed the corrupted DNS cache with a static root override, she said, standing now. Most people would have just called IT. Nathan stopped. Slowly, he turned around. His eyes, tired and unsure, studied her. "How do you know that?" "Because I watched you," she said. "And because I would have done it the same way." There was no pride in her voice. Just curiosity. And admiration. "I'm Lily," she added, stepping closer. "Junior. Computer science. Emphasis on ethical AI." Nathan gave a reluctant nod, then went back to work. But that night, something stirred inside him. A flicker. A spark. A presence that pierced through the fog he'd wrapped himself in. For the first time in a long time, someone had seen his mind. The next day, Lily returned. And the next. She never pushed. Never pried. But she was there. Reading near where he worked. Eating instant noodles outside the lab where he cleaned windows. Nathan started noticing things about her, too. She wasn't like the others. Her eyes weren't glued to a screen, they scanned the world like it mattered. She asked questions no one else dared to. Big ones. What happens when machines become emotionally aware? What if AIs learn compassion before logic? Do you think code can reflect the soul of its creator? Nathan didn't answer her questions. But he listened. And something about the way she looked at the world made him want to start looking again too. One evening, Lily appeared holding 2 paper cups. Coffee, she offered. Well, technically gas station mocha. But still. Nathan hesitated, then took it. They sat in silence. 2 people from different worlds. One climbing upward, the other buried below, but somehow they shared the same quiet space. You don't talk much, she said. I used to, Nathan replied quietly. Then life made me listen instead. Lily smiled, but didn't press. Instead, she pulled out her tablet and showed him a project. It's rough, she said. Still buggy. But it's trying to interpret emotion through facial micro-movements. Basically, early emotional AI stuff. Nathan stared at it. Something flickered across his face. Pain. Recognition. It was nearly identical to what he and his best friend had built before it was stolen. You okay? She asked. Nathan nodded. Slowly. Then said the first full sentence he'd spoken to her since they met. Your input mapping is wrong. Lily blinked. What do you mean? You're funneling raw data into a single-tier inference engine. That's why you're getting jitter. You need to separate the contextual filter from the reactive node. She blinked again. Whoa. That's actually genius. Nathan sipped his mocha. And for the first time in a long time, he smiled. From that night on, things changed. Lily would bring her code. Nathan would offer quiet corrections. She challenged his mind. And without even trying, she began to heal his heart. And though he didn't know it yet, this girl, the one who saw the genius inside a janitor, would one day lead him back to the life he'd buried. Days turned into weeks. Every night, Lily returned. And every night, Nathan spoke a little more. Not much. Not fast. But enough. Enough for her to sense the weight he carried. The way he hesitated before answering, the moments he stared at nothing, like reliving a memory that hurt too much to say out loud. One night, the campus was nearly empty, spring break had thinned the halls. Nathan sat by the loading dock, peeling labels off a vending machine soda. Lily plopped down beside him, cross-legged on the concrete. "You ever gonna tell me your story?" she asked softly. Nathan didn't answer. She didn't push. But after a long pause, he spoke. "I built something once. Something that could have changed lives." Lily turned toward him, silent. "It started in a dorm room," he continued. "Just two friends and an idea. We didn't care about money. We just wanted to make something that mattered." His voice tightened. "We created an AI that could recognize emotional strain through micro-expressions. I walked away," Nathan said. "Or maybe I crawled. That day broke something in me," he whispered. "Not because I lost the code, but because I lost trust. In people. In fairness. In myself." Silence hung between them for a long time. Finally, Lily spoke. "I can't imagine how that felt. But I know this, the way you look at code. The way you understand it. That's not something anyone can steal." Nathan said nothing. "That spark in you, it's not gone," she continued. "It's buried under a lot of pain. But it's still there." She turned to face him. "You helped me more in 3 weeks than my professors have all semester. You see things others don't. Not just in machines, but in people." Nathan looked away, fighting emotion. "Why do you care so much?" Lily smiled. "Because someone believed in me once. When I didn't believe in myself. And it changed everything." She paused. "Now I pay it forward. Starting with you." That night, Lily left him a flash drive. On it was the AI project she'd been building, plus a private folder labeled Collab Nathan plus Lily. Inside were design notes, sketches, even a potential brand name. "I want to build this with you," she'd written. "No contracts. No secrets. Just code and trust." Nathan sat on the floor of his basement apartment that night, holding the flash drive like it weighed 1,000 pounds. It was more than data. It was an invitation. Not just to build again, but to believe again. It started with one file. Then two. Then entire folders opened like forgotten rooms in his mind. Nathan sat hunched over a borrowed laptop in the dim corner of his basement room, fingers dancing over keys like a pianist rediscovering a long-lost melody. For the first time in years, he was coding again. And more than that, he felt useful. But just as things began to blossom, the world reminded him that scars don't vanish without a fight. The next morning, Nathan walked past a bulletin board on campus. A poster caught his eye. Tech Talk AI Showcase, hosted by Genesis Labs. Keynote, Victor Kane, founder of Empath IQ Systems. Nathan froze. Victor. His former best friend. The thief. The man who'd stolen his dream and buried his name. He stood staring at the poster, old memories burning like acid behind his eyes. Behind him, Lily's voice broke the silence. "You okay?" He didn't turn. "He's here," Nathan muttered. "Victor. Here's the keynote." "Then we'll go," Lily said firmly. "You'll watch," he said bitterly. "I'll be invisible." "No," she replied. "You'll be seen. Not by him. Not by the world. But by me." She stepped in front of him. And soon, by everyone. That night, Nathan worked like he hadn't in years. Not from fear. Not from anger. But with quiet fire. The code came alive. It breathed. It sang. Eunoia wasn't just a program anymore. It was a second chance. A redemption arc written in semicolons and syntax. And with Lily beside him, Nathan knew. He was ready to be more than a ghost from the past. He was ready to rise. The Tech Talk showcase buzzed with excitement. Screens flashed futuristic demos. AI startups pitched dreams on banners. Lily moved through the crowd like a current, calm, alert, focused. Nathan trailed behind, hoodie up, eyes darting. Every screen felt like a threat. He hadn't been in a room like this in years. The last time. He lost everything. Announcer on loudspeaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Victor Kane. The room erupted into applause. Nathan froze. There he was. Victor walked on stage like a king. Trim suit. Confident smirk. The screen behind him flashed a logo. Empath IQ, AI that understands. Nathan's stomach churned. That tagline. That interface. Even the display layout. It was his. Victor spoke with charm, confidence, and polished deception. When we built Empath IQ, our mission was clear: decode emotion to create human-centric technology. Nathan whispered under his breath. We didn't build anything. I did. Lily gripped his arm. He's not the story anymore. You are. But Nathan's eyes didn't leave the stage. Victor clicked a remote, switching to a case study. A testimonial video played. A woman in a headset spoke about how the AI caught signs of her burnout before even she knew. Nathan's fingers curled into fists. He's still using my predictive patterns, he muttered. The same structure, the same weight metrics, just rebranded. Lily leaned closer. Then we build better. Cleaner. Transparent. Yours. Victor scanned the crowd. And for a moment, just a flicker, his gaze met Nathan's. There was no shock. No guilt. Just the faintest smirk. That look said it all. You're too late. Nathan turned and walked away. Fast. Lily chased after him, weaving through bodies. Nathan! Wait. He ducked into a hallway, breath shallow, back against the wall. What am I doing here? He gasped. This was a mistake. He's won. He already won. Lily stood in front of him, hands on his shoulders. No. He cheated. That's not winning. That's surviving by theft. Nathan looked away. The world doesn't care. He has the brand. The money. The spotlight. Lily's voice softened. Then give them something they can't ignore. Not just a project, but proof. He met her eyes. How? We'll enter Eunoia into the university's annual AI ethics competition, she said. It's open submission. Public votes. Real user tests. Nathan's expression darkened. And what if Victor sees it? What if he tries to block us? Then let him try, Lily said fiercely. She reached into her backpack and pulled out a printout. These are Eunoia's test results. It's already outperforming Empath IQ on emotional variance detection. Ready? Lily asked. Nathan stared at the laptop screen. Their submission file blinked softly. Final confirmation, upload Eunoia project? He hesitated. They'll judge everything, he said. The code, the logic paths, the emotional footprint. Exactly, Lily said. And they'll finally see you. He clicked submit. There was no applause. No fanfare. Just a screen that read, Entry number 72, Eunoia by Nathan Reyes and Lily Hart. The competition hall bustled with energy. Screens along the walls showcased real-time AI demos. Some bots told jokes. Some created music. One even painted digital portraits based on user moods. But none felt. Nathan walked past them all, quiet, focused. On one screen, a demo bot named Felix tried to read body language. It missed a girl's discomfort entirely. On another, a system froze when emotional input spiked. Nathan whispered, they're reading data. Not people. Lily smiled. Let's show them the difference. At booth 72, Eunoia's interface glowed calmly. No loud graphics. No gimmicks. Just a soft AI voice saying, Hello. I'm here to listen. Jury members approached. One, a clinical psych professor, leaned in. Does it handle trauma markers? Lily nodded. We've trained it to catch silent indicators, delayed blinking, shifted phrasing, and microfacial tension. Nathan stepped in, voice quiet but sure. It doesn't just detect emotion. It empathizes. Eunoia maps the emotional trajectory, not just the moment. They watched as a volunteer stepped up, nervous, anxious. She began to speak about her coursework stress. Midway, she paused. Eunoia responded gently. Your voice suggests uncertainty. Would you like to pause or continue? The girl blinked. Yeah. That's actually helpful. Then came the real test. One of the judges, a former Empath IQ engineer, posed a scenario. Simulate a patient masking sadness with humor. She laughed while describing loneliness. Eunoia listened. Analyzed. Then calmly said, Your words make us smile. But your eyes don't. I'm here if you want to talk beneath the laughter. Silence. Then murmurs. Then applause. The psych professor nodded, impressed. It's not just smart, she said. It's compassionate. Nathan breathed in. For the first time, he wasn't hiding. He was leading. Cut to screens showing real-time scoring. Eunoia jumps into the top 5. Lily leaned close. We're in. But then, a shadow. Victor Kane entered the booth from the side aisle, flanked by 2 assistants. His eye swept the interface, then settled on Nathan. Cute, he said. Looks like someone learned to put Polish on my old junk code. Nathan didn't flinch. It's not your code anymore. Victor smirked. Still bitter, Reyes? You had years to build something, and all you've got is this science fair sympathy bot. Lily stepped forward. We built something that connects. Something your version never could. Victor's smirk faded slightly. We'll see. Results don't lie. He turned and walked off. Nathan watched him go. "He's scared," he muttered. Lily smiled. "Good. He should be." As the public scoring phase opened, users across campus began interacting with all AI systems. Lines formed. Booths crowded. But at booth 72, people paused, talked, opened up. Eunoia wasn't entertaining. It was healing. And that was something money couldn't fake. Not even Victor's. The next morning, Nathan sat frozen. His screen flickered. Eunoia's interface, once graceful and fluid, was crashing. Data nodes were missing. Emotional detection modules failed to respond. The code was scrambled. "It's like someone corrupted the backbone overnight," Nathan whispered. Lily rushed to his side, eyes wide. "Wait, did you patch the database before the scoring update?" "I did," Nathan said. "I triple-checked everything." He scrolled through lines of code, fast, desperate. Then he stopped. Someone injected a backdoor command. They planted it during the live demo. His voice broke. "It's sabotage." Lily gritted her teeth. Victor. He had access. He knew where to look. Nathan buried his head in his hands. "It's over. We'll be disqualified. No one will believe we didn't cheat or crash intentionally." His voice grew quieter. "He wins again." Silence. Lily knelt in front of him. "Look at me." He didn't. "Nathan? Look at me." He raised his eyes, red-rimmed, shaking. "You built this from a library card and broken keyboards. You coded this when you couldn't even look yourself in the mirror." She held his shoulders. "You don't fold now." He whispered. "What if I'm not enough?" Lily exhaled slowly. "Then we make enough. Together." "We still have 6 hours before the public scoring closes," she said. "That's not enough to rebuild the core AI," he said. "But it's enough to rebuild its voice. Its soul." She opened a fresh file on her laptop. "Forget the competition for a second. Build something raw. Clean. Something that still listens, even if it doesn't analyze perfectly." Nathan stared at the screen. Just a blank text file. A second chance. He wiped his face and began typing. Time-lapse audio effect, rapid keystrokes, soft overlapping dialogue as if hours pass. Nathan worked like a man possessed. Lines of code snapped together like puzzle pieces. Lily rewired front-end display modules while scanning for residual exploits. At 3:59 p.m., 1 minute before the submission portal locked, Nathan hit save. A simple new version of Eunoia blinked online. Not perfect, but real. "Hi. I'm not flawless, but I'm still listening." Lily whispered. "That's more human than half the bots here." At 4 p.m., the judges began the final round of demos. Nathan stood, exhausted, shirt wrinkled, hands shaking slightly. Lily stood beside him like a flame. One judge sat down in front of their booth. "What happened to your code?" she asked. Nathan took a deep breath. "It was attacked. I rebuilt it. Simpler, but honest." The judge raised an eyebrow. "And what does it do now?" Nathan pressed enter. Eunoia's soft voice responded. I may not solve everything, but I will stay with you until it's quiet again. The judge stared at the screen, then smiled. Sometimes, that's exactly what we need. Nathan slumped back into the chair, eyes closed. He had nothing left. No perfect score. No guaranteed victory. Just truth. And Lily. The auditorium buzzed with electric silence. Screens lit up. Final scores. Everyone leaned forward. Dozens of names. Projects. Then, top 3 finalists flashed onto the screen. Gold medal Victor Kane, Project Sentience. Silver medal Nathan Reyes and Lily Hart, Project Eunoia. Bronze medal Moreau AI Group, Deep Context. Pause. Nathan froze. Second, he said. We didn't win. Lily exhaled slowly. We placed. But Victor. Victor won, she said, but we connected. Nathan looked around. Booth 72 was still surrounded. A young man sat talking softly to Eunoia's terminal. Mind if I tag along? Nathan looked at her, really looked. Not just at the coder, the classmate, but the person who stood by him when he was invisible. Please do, he said. Cut to Round Pushpin 6 months later. A small tech startup office. A banner reads, Welcome to Project KindMind. Nathan and Lily demo a public beta of Eunoia 2.0. It's already being piloted in school counseling systems. Comments flood the screen. This changed my daughter's life. Our students opened up for the first time. It doesn't feel like software. It feels like someone's with me. And at the center of it all, Nathan. No longer hunched. No longer hiding. Speaking to a room of young coders. Glowing star moral of the story. Sometimes, the world celebrates the loudest voices, the flashiest ideas, or the ones with the most power. But in truth, it's the quiet hearts, the resilient spirits, and the people who keep showing up even when no one's clapping, they're the ones who truly change the world. Success isn't about coming first. It's about staying human. Nathan didn't win the trophy. He won something better, purpose, connection, and peace. And Lily? She reminded us that a single person who believes in you can change your entire story. Comment if this story touched your heart, if it made you feel seen, understood, or just a little more hopeful. Please hit that subscribe button.